Train the muscles, not the joints.
Welcome back to Natural Gland Bodybuilding Mountain. And today I'm going to give you a back training tip. And this is something I was just thinking about today as I was brewing about a troll comment that was made today, which I get constantly. Like I get these comments all the time, right? And the biggest problem with YouTube or the world in general, and that's when somebody sees, like, say, a crime in progress perpetuated by a white male, then they say all white males are bad or something like that. You know, it's the same thing with bodybuilders. There's some lying dickheads that have been in the spotlight lately that are claiming natural, and then they get caught that they're not natural, like the Liver King and so forth. And then of course they assume that all natural bodybuilders aren't natural, and that's not true. All right, let's find out who's natural around here, huh? Oh yeah, you're a little bit too white there, Mr. or Miss Birch, or whatever the heck you identify with right now. Yeah, you're not natural, okay? I've been drug-free my whole life. I don't use any performance-enhancing crap, or never have. And I'm not on hormone replacement because that's also a drug, and I don't believe in using that. I believe in addressing the overall health of the body and finding out why it's recovering or why it's not, instead of masking it with some sort of hormonal sort of quick fix sort of situation, right? So I know there's a lot of people that follow Joe Rogan, and I like a lot of stuff that Joe Rogan says, but at the same time, I don't agree with hormone replacement crap. It's not my thing. I'm not interested in that. I want to achieve health myself, finding out how this system works without tinkering with the hormones. And in the words of an endocrinologist that I trained a long time ago, I trained him for a few sessions, and he said, we really know nothing about hormones. Too mossy, not natural. You got like a two kind of trunk thing going on there. I don't believe you were born that way, so not natural. Oh, you're almost dead. You're almost dead. You're natural. So guys that come on this channel and troll like this or whatever, I just get rid of them right away. But just for the record, because I know some of you guys are asking the honest question, am I on hormone replacement therapy? I am not. I do not believe in the use of hormones whatsoever, or any hormone replacement therapy crap or any of that kind of stuff. So anyway, just so I get that out of the way, done. I'm done with that conversation. Now let's get on to training back. Now, one thing that I made a video about a while ago was the bent over barbell row. Now, I made a video about it, and I called this video called the most misunderstood exercise. If you have not seen this video, please watch it after you watch this one, so that way you can understand why I do what I do with the bent over barbell row. Because a lot of times people will complain, they'll say you're not bending over all the way to be your upper body parallel with the floor, which is pretty much impossible if you're lifting any weight, because you'll just fall over, right? But at the same time, they say you don't bend over enough, so you're not getting the back involved. And that's absolute bullshit. But anyway, I explain this in my most misunderstood back exercise and teach you why that a 45-degree angle or 30-degree angle or whatever angle may be necessary for you to get the most out of the bent over barbell row in order to build lats and overall back development. Now, one thing that has come to my attention just through watching some of the video clips. As I'm videoing myself, sometimes I see certain things, I'm like, oh, this might be worth talking about. And this is one of the reasons why I also include variations of the bent over row. Because bent over barbell rows are going to be different than bent over dumbbell rows. And one of the reasons is that you can maintain a certain arc that maintains tension on those lats at a different bent over level, right? You might be able to bend over more, and because the dumbbells can slide up the sides of your waist and the barbell actually hits your waist, you may notice that there's a slight variation in the movement, which also causes you to include other muscle groups or uninclude some muscle groups. You know what I'm saying? Or exclude, uninclude. Where do I get my words from? So something's a bent over dumbbell row, you may notice that you can bend over more and still maintain tension on the lats if you're obsessed with that sort of option, right? I'm not saying that dumbbells are better than barbell, but it may give you a different sort of pump and a different sort of feel. And I find a lot of people who do the bent over dumbbell row get better mind muscle connection with the lats because the dumbbells can slide up the sides of the legs because you can bring those dumbbells back further as you're doing the exercise. You still stick the chest out and you still keep the shoulders down towards the waist. But as you're doing this, because the dumbbells are in a different position than your hands would be if they're holding onto a barbell, you start to access the back on a deeper level and get more of a monstrous, big back, pumpity, lumpy type situation. So you got to pretend you have a wingspan. You're scared of that, see? Hey, scared of the wingspan. Hey, scared of the wingspan? Yeah, that's what I thought. Now this is also true for Romanian deadlifts for hamstrings, right? I'm gonna just throw this in there. When you go to the barbell variation or the dumbbell variation, you're gonna notice a much different level of activation of the hamstrings. Not to say that the barbell is inferior, but you're gonna notice that you involve less lower back during the dumbbell Romanian deadlift because the center of gravity or the weight is able to be farther back right beside the legs instead of in front of the legs. And just that small difference in where the weight is hanging will change the dynamic on how much stress the lower back takes. Now, sometimes you want the back to take a little bit of stress. Maybe you want the lower back to have to be activated by lifting the barbell here and there. But if you notice that your back is tight and you want to loosen it up and still get a great hamstring workout, I would recommend trying the dumbbells for your Romanian deadlifts. And you'll notice that you get different results from both. So this is one of the things I find I've made a mistake with in the past, and I know a lot of people make the mistake. They assume that just because a bench press is a bench press, all variations of the bench press activate the same area, regardless of whether you're doing barbell or dumbbell. I mean, maybe there's more people educated about the bench press because it's such a popular exercise. But I'm gonna say when it comes down to back training, there are people out there who believe that if you're bent over rowing, it doesn't matter whether it's barbell or dumbbell, it's gonna be the same thing. Or if they're on a machine and it's called a bent over row, or it's called a back row, they're saying, oh, all rows work the back in the same way because they're rows. And I'm gonna tell you, no. Each variation, grip, separate dumbbells or a barbell or a close grip, or like all of these variations will stimulate your back in a different way and put the stress or distribute the stress in a slightly different way. And that's why it's good to vary up your rowing movements, because you're going to notice that you may get superior activation with some lifts some days and then superior activation with other lifts other days. Mountain. Any monsters under this bridge? Huh? Looks safe. It should be safe. So yeah, I hope this helps out in your training. Thanks a lot for watching. If you need to get a hold of me, just go to naturallandbodybuilding.com and don't forget to buy an exercise stick, because they're the only pieces of equipment in the industry right now that you can also eat. The beavers like it. Natural land.